You'll be aware of what was happening on the doorsteps, right? Winter fuel, but above all else, immigration in Runcorn. You've lost by 2 households. As we've been saying, Keir Starmer was missing in action. You say he was at the Vatican. Now, I understand he had to attend the Pope's funeral. People in Runcorn might be a little bit offended to think that the leader couldn't find the time to go and speak to them. But the most important thing is, to what extent is the Labour Party actually listening to voters when they're saying to them, look, 11,000 small boats came to this country unchecked. 11,000 people came to this country on small boats, unchecked. Immigration is out of control. Winter fuel cap is a disaster affecting millions of people, and you've done nothing about it. That's why you are in a situation now where this by-election, 6 votes may have made the difference, but ultimately this is the overturning of a massive Labour majority. How is that anything other than a disaster for the Labour Party?
Well, look, when we were elected to government last July, we were voted in on a platform of change. We know that the country is impatient for change. We are as well. We need to move further and faster. We know that change takes time, but already we've seen waiting lists go down 6 months in a row. We've started to roll out free breakfast clubs in primary schools. But I'll give you an example. In Runcorn, we've rolled out 4 new free breakfast clubs in primary schools. We want to go further than that. We want every primary school in Runcorn and indeed across the country to have a free breakfast club.
With all due respect, the change that people are looking towards, the change they voted for, were real concerns about their communities. And that's why they voted for reform. They're concerned about immigration, winter fuel, and the cost of living. What answers, focusing on those issues, right, which we know is why people went to reform, what answers do the Labour Party actually have? And if they don't have any answers, what real change is there?
On winter fuel, when we came into government in July, we found that the country's finances were in a far worse state than we knew. Public services on their knees as well. So we had to make tough and difficult decisions to stabilise the economy. But under Labour, pensioners just last month are getting up to an extra £470 in their pensions because of the triple lock, something that the Conservatives have cast doubt on.
It'll be noticeable to every Good Morning Britain viewer up and down the country, right? You're not answering the question on immigration or on the winter fuel.
Well, I've just spoken about winter fuel and the tough decision we had to take on that, but we are giving money to pensioners through that commitment to the triple lock on immigration.
Do you think that's landing on the doorstep? Do you think people think, right, we're going to vote Labour? You've just had a 14,000 majority overturned. That's gone to a party that isn't just not been in government, it's got no experience of government whatsoever, and many of them are Labour heartland voters that don't trust you anymore, right?
We want to go further and faster, and that's really important. On immigration, since getting into power, we've set up border security commands. We're giving powers, anti-terrorism powers to police to go after the criminal gangs. That's really important. We committed in our manifesto to close the asylum hotels, and we've already announced some closure of those. And importantly, we've increased returns. 24,000 people with no right to be here have been returned since the election, far higher than in previous years. So we're getting on with that delivery. It takes time.
You may see